When I saw a therapist for depression for the first time, I felt pretty trashy. I felt like I was feeling trashy because I was not good at doing certain things that other people found really easy. And I felt this sort of alienation that nobody feels the way I do. More than feeling normal or abnormal, I think that feeling of not being the same as everyone else was what prompted me to go seek help in the first place. My parents took me the first time. I actually went to the therapist in my mom's school for the first time. And after that, I suggested that we go, and they said, no, go ahead. The medication is great, but again, there's a whole lot of this thing about whether it really works, how it makes me feel when I'm off it. It's complicated. I don't think I can put it all here. I have seen a variety of mental health professionals because of my sleeping problems. Um, it has definitely helped me, but a couple of things that I can notice is that I find it slightly discomforting that the only place I feel like my mental health is important or that it needs to be spoken about is when these designated spaces are involved and a prescribed form of um, interaction takes place, which is very compartmentalized from the rest of my life. A lot of the times, my experience with um, psychiatrists, especially, has been that there's a sense of suspicion about what they're really trying to do, if they really understand what's going on, and again, goes back to the problem I was just describing. I feel like it happens because that space is designated simply for one singular purpose, and that one singular purpose is your mental health, which is everything in my opinion.
I think therapy is a costly affair, but for me it's worked out well, and I have recommended a lot of other people and told people to seek help if they feel that way. At the same time, I feel like my current level of support is adequate, both from my therapist and from my friends. My Another thing of going to therapy has been that it's allowed me to be more open and vulnerable with my friends as well, and allowed me to forge deeper connections. So my support system is, I would describe it as adequate.
While I personally have benefited from it, it took me a long time to do so. It wasn't like I just immediately got better in 1 year or immediately in like a few sessions with either my therapist or my psychiatrist. The meds took a long time to work. The right kind of meds took a long time to figure out like what actually worked for me, because I was first on antidepressants, then I was on anti-anxiety meds, and then I was on currently I'm on an antipsychotic which acts as a mood stabilizer. The current level of support that you get from mental health professionals is adequate, but I think the level of support that is generally present in approaching a mental health professional is very, very low, because your workplace or your place where you're studying, these places need to become more sensitized to these issues to be able to like adequately provide support to people who are going through these things. Because I have been part of an institution that didn't really help me, or was actually pretty averse to even acknowledging my symptoms. And since it's such an invisible thing, it requires more sort of awareness of how it really ends up affecting you. Accessibility and affordability are the biggest concerns right now, because while a lot of therapists are around, or very different types of therapists which you can get access to, affordability would be another factor for people, or like people like students who don't have because I know of a lot of people who, have to borrow money from their friends just to go for the therapy because they can't tell their parents at home that they need it. So I think if mental health just generally became a more mainstream concern in health as well as just general everyday life, it would be a whole lot better.